Hello folks, back in the shop, finishing up the shaft here I'm working on. I'm going to put some holes in it, and I got a slot to put here in the end. I'm going to show you, some people know how, some people don't. I'm just going to go through it on how to swing this to find center using an indicator in the mill. And then I've done the V-block thing again like I did on the other job to hold things in rotation as I want them. So I'm going to take the camera in hand here in a moment and try to show you how the indicator, how you can see it when it swings for the high points. Now you're not going to be able to see the needle on that very well. Too much light. There, that might work. Alright, we can see the needle. So in order to pick up a shaft like this, just bring this, like the quill on your machine, down, and you can just see the needle move. Now what you want to do is move that needle up and down, and it'll fall past center. You want to pick the highest point where your indicator stem hits, and that's going to be like in your Z axis. Then you swing your spindle while the indicator's still in that point to where it's hitting the high. So when you hit the highest point, then you come off, the indicator needle falls away. Same way the other direction. So that's your highest point right there. So then we just come over here and zero the readout. And I set a stop up here. That way we can come back to the same point. I can raise this up. Got my cord wrapped around the handle. Then I can just crank the machine over. Clear the other side. Reach in here, take the spindle. Turn it. Then when I bring this down, the quill up here will come right back to the same spot on like the Z axis. Then all we got to do is find the indicator. Crank our table in. It's not working real well with this lighting I got going on. And you go to that same zero as you had on the other side. Now we reach in there and we swing that. See, we're hitting the same zero before it breaks away. So that's how you do that. I'm going to pop some holes in this. Sorry about the camera stuff, but that's how you do it on anything you're doing like this. Always find your high point in your Z axis and where you're swinging your indicator side to side, and then that's going to be the highest point in the center of that shaft. Now I just come over here to the readout, half that, crank it the correct way, crank back over to 0. Now my spindle is setting directly over the center. Put the indicator over here where it's safe. Now pick up this end. I'll just put an edge finder in there. Crank over here to the end. Then we move it up. Once the edge finder comes up, touches, then we're good to go. Try to go that kicks out right here in the end. 0 to read out. Raise the quill. That's a 200,000th diameter edge finder if you're using 100. That puts the center of the spindle right on that edge. Now you don't have to, it's typically all kind of spot face. It's the best way to do it. Don't mill on a chuck. I've seen people do that. It's not what you're supposed to do. They're not made for milling. But I will put a end mill in and just come down and spot on a diameter. Gives you a nice flat spot to start your indicator or your center drill. Crank this over to my hole location. We're still sitting on center. That gives me a nice flat spot. Instead of on that radius, gives me a flat spot for the center drill. But never mill with an end mill and a Jacob's chuck. It's a sign of laziness. And it's not accurate. Now this is just a grease groove hole, or not a grease groove. There's a hole in the end of this for a grease fitting. and I drilled the hole clear down to here, and I've got to go drill this cross fitting in, cross hole, in order to let the grease out into the bushing. Put this thing up here. See, there's the grease fitting in the end, and it broke right on that hole where it went through. Apparently I didn't tighten it shut.